Welcome to Code Your English, the home to learn and grow fast.
Hello, and welcome back to another essential and helpful episode here at Code Your English. I am really happy that you are here today, listening, learning, and improving your English step by step. Take a small moment, relax your body, and just listen carefully. Let me ask you something simple. Do you sometimes think too much? Do you feel worried without a clear reason? Do you ever have thoughts like, I am not good enough, or something bad will happen? If your answer is yes, don't worry. You are not alone. Many people around the world have the same experience. Sometimes our mind becomes very busy. It keeps thinking again and again. Even when everything is okay, we still feel stress inside. We start to imagine problems that are not even real. And slowly, these thoughts make us feel tired, anxious, and sometimes even sad. Maybe this has happened to you. You are sitting quietly, doing nothing, and suddenly a negative thought comes into your mind. At first, it is just a small thought. But then you keep thinking about it. You repeat it again and again. And after some time it feels bigger and stronger. It feels like it is true, even if it is not. The important thing you need to understand is this. This is completely normal. There is nothing wrong with you. Having negative thoughts does not mean you are weak. It does not mean you are a negative person. It only means that you are human. Our mind is very powerful, but sometimes it works in a way that is not helpful. It tries to protect us, but in doing that, it can also create fear, doubt, and worry. And if we don't understand how it works, we can feel stuck inside our own thoughts. That is why today's topic is very important and very helpful for your life. Today, we are going to talk about negative thoughts. We will understand what they are, why they come into our mind, and most importantly, how you can slowly learn to stop them or control them. And don't worry, I will explain everything in very simple and easy English so you can learn new ideas and also improve your listening and speaking at the same time. Just listen carefully, maybe repeat some sentences, and try to feel the meaning, not only understand the words. By the end of this podcast, you will feel more calm, more clear, and more in control of your mind. You will learn that your thoughts do not control you. You can learn to control them. So, take a deep breath, relax, and let's begin this journey together. What are negative thoughts? Simple explanation. Now, let's understand something very important in a very simple way. What are negative thoughts? Negative thoughts are ideas or sentences that come into your mind that make you feel bad, worried, afraid, or less confident. These thoughts usually focus on problems, fear, failure, or something going wrong. They often come automatically, without you trying to think about them. For example, you may have thoughts like, I am not good enough, I will fail, people will laugh at me, or something bad will happen. These thoughts can come when you are about to speak English, when you meet new people, when you try something new, or even when you are just sitting alone, doing nothing. Let's imagine a simple situation. You want to speak in English with someone. Before you even start, a thought comes into your mind. My English is bad. Then another thought comes, I will make mistakes. And then, people will think I am not smart. Now, you feel nervous. You feel scared. And maybe you decide not to speak at all. This is how negative thoughts can control your actions. But here is something very important you need to understand clearly. Thoughts are just thoughts. They are not facts. Just because you think something, it does not mean it is true. For example, if your mind says, "I am not good enough," it does not mean you are actually not good enough. It is just a sentence in your mind. It is just a thought, not reality. In the same way, when you think something bad will happen, it does not mean it will really happen. It is only your mind trying to imagine something. Our mind creates many thoughts every day. Some are positive, some are neutral, and some are negative. The problem is, we often believe our negative thoughts very quickly. We accept them as truth without questioning them. And when we believe them, they start to affect our feelings and our behavior. Think about this like a radio in your mind. The radio is always on, and it is always talking. Sometimes it plays good music, and sometimes it plays negative messages. But you don't have to believe everything you hear. You can listen and still choose what is true and what is not. Negative thoughts can feel very real. They can feel very strong. But in reality, they are just temporary. They come and they go. They are like clouds in the sky. Sometimes the sky is full of dark clouds, but that does not mean the sun is gone forever. The sun is still there, behind the clouds. In the same way, your real self is still strong, capable, and good. Negative thoughts are just passing through your mind. They are not who you are. So always remember this simple but powerful idea. A thought is just a thought. It is not a fact. And once you truly understand this, you take the first big step to control your mind, instead of letting your mind control you. Why do we have negative thoughts? Now let's go deeper and understand something that can really change the way you see yourself. Why do we have negative thoughts? Many people feel confused or even worried when they notice too many negative thoughts in their mind. They start thinking, "Why am I like this?" Or, "Why can't I think positively?" But the truth is very simple and very important. There is nothing wrong with you. Our brain is designed in a very special way. Its main job is to protect us. It always tries to keep us safe. A long time ago, this was very important for human survival. People had to be careful about danger, animals, and difficult situations. So the brain learned to focus more on problems and possible danger. This habit is still inside us today. So when your brain creates negative thoughts like, "Be careful, this might go wrong," or "Don't do this, you might fail," it is not trying to hurt you. It is actually trying to protect you. It wants to keep you safe from pain, embarrassment, or failure. But the problem is, today we don't face the same dangers as before. Still, the brain continues to act in the same way. That is why sometimes it creates too many negative thoughts, even when there is no real danger. Another reason for negative thoughts is our past experiences. Think about your life. Maybe in the past, you tried something and it did not go well. Maybe someone laughed at you. Maybe you made a mistake and felt embarrassed. These experiences stay in your memory. And later, when you are in a similar situation, your mind reminds you of that past moment. For example, if you tried to speak English before and someone corrected you or you felt uncomfortable, your brain may remember that feeling. The next time you try to speak, your mind quickly says, "Don't do it. It will be the same again." This creates fear and doubt, even if the situation is different now. Fear of failure is also a very strong reason for negative thinking. Many people are afraid to fail. They want to be perfect. They don't want to make mistakes. But when you focus too much on not failing, your mind starts creating negative ideas like, I can't do this, or I will fail again. These thoughts stop you from trying, learning, and growing. And then there is overthinking. This is when you think too much about one situation again and again. You don't stop. You keep analyzing, imagining, and worrying. A small thought becomes bigger and bigger. For example, one simple thought like, what if I make a mistake? Can turn into, everyone will notice, then they will judge me, and finally, I should not even try. This is how overthinking turns a small idea into a big problem. The most important thing you need to remember from all of this is very simple but very powerful. There is nothing wrong with you. Your brain is just doing its job. It is trying to protect you. Your past experiences are just memories. Your fear is just a natural human feeling. And overthinking is just a habit that can be changed. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are just human. And once you understand this, something changes inside you. You stop fighting yourself. You stop blaming yourself. Instead, you start observing your thoughts with more calm and understanding. This is the beginning of real change. Because when you understand why negative thoughts come, you don't feel scared of them anymore. And when you are not scared, you can start learning how to manage them in a better way. Common types of negative thoughts. Now let's talk about something very practical and useful. We will look at some common types of negative thoughts. This will help you recognize your own thinking patterns, because when you can recognize your thoughts, you can start to control them. The first common type is overthinking. Overthinking means thinking too much about one situation again and again. You don't stop. You repeat the same thoughts in your mind. For example, imagine you had a small conversation with someone in English. After that, you go home and start thinking, did I say something wrong? Then you think, maybe my grammar was bad. Then, maybe they did not understand me. You keep thinking about it for hours, maybe even days. This is overthinking. The situation is already finished, but your mind is still working on it. Overthinking makes small things feel big and stressful. The second type is self-doubt. This is when you don't believe in yourself. You feel that you are not good enough, not smart enough, or not capable. For example, you may want to improve your English, but your mind says, I can't do this, or my English will never be good. Even before you try, you already believe you will fail. This kind of thinking stops you from growing. It takes away your confidence and your motivation. Another common type is fear of the future. This is when your mind starts thinking about things that have not happened yet, and it usually imagines negative results. For example, you might think, what if I fail my exam? Or, what if I can't speak well in the interview? Or, what if people judge me? These thoughts are about the future, but they feel very real in the present. They create anxiety and fear, even though nothing bad has actually happened. The last common type is comparing yourself with others. This happens a lot, especially today. You look at other people and think they are better than you. For example, you may see someone speak in English very fluently, and then you think, their English is perfect. Mine is very bad. Or you see someone successful and think, they are doing so well, and I am not. This kind of thinking makes you feel small and unhappy. It also makes you forget your own progress and your own journey. All these types of negative thoughts are very common. Almost everyone experiences them in some way. The important thing is to notice them. When you can say, "Oh, this is overthinking," or "This is self-doubt," you create a small distance between you and your thoughts. And that distance is very powerful. Because now, instead of being controlled by your thoughts, you start observing them. You begin to understand your mind better. So next time you feel stressed or worried, try to pause for a moment and ask yourself, what kind of thought is this? Is it overthinking? Is it self-doubt? Is it fear of the future? Or am I comparing myself with someone else? This simple awareness is the first step to change. Because you cannot change what you do not understand. But once you understand your thoughts, you can slowly start to guide them in a better direction. How negative thoughts affect our life. Now let's understand why this topic is so important for your life. What happens if we do nothing about our negative thoughts? How do these thoughts affect us every day? At first, negative thoughts may look small and not very serious. It may feel like just a simple idea in your mind. But when these thoughts come again and again, they start to affect your feelings, your behavior, and even your energy. Slowly, they begin to control different parts of your life. One of the biggest effects of negative thoughts is stress and anxiety. When your mind is always thinking about problems, fear, or something bad happening, your body also feels it. You may feel nervous, uncomfortable, or restless. Even when everything is okay around you, inside your mind, there is no peace. For example, if you keep thinking, something will go wrong, your body stays in a state of tension. You cannot relax fully. This is how negative thoughts create anxiety, even without a real reason. Another strong effect is low confidence. When you repeat negative thoughts like, "I am not good enough," or "I cannot do this," again and again, you start to believe them. These thoughts become like a voice inside your mind that is always telling you to stop, to be careful, or to not try. Over time, your confidence becomes weaker. You start to doubt yourself in simple situations. Even when you have the ability, you feel like you don't. For example, you may know some English and you want to speak, but your mind says, "No, you will make mistakes." Because of this thought, you don't speak. Not because you cannot speak, but because you don't believe in yourself. This is how negative thinking limits your growth. Another important effect is that you stop taking action. This is very powerful and very dangerous in a quiet way. When your mind is full of fear and doubt, you start avoiding things. You don't try new opportunities. You don't take small risks. You stay in your comfort zone. For example, you may want to join a conversation, apply for a job, or speak in front of others. But your thoughts stop you before you even begin. They say, "It's too hard," or "You will fail," or "People will judge you." So you decide to do nothing. And when you don't take action, you don't learn, you don't improve, and you don't move forward. Over time, this can create a feeling of being stuck in life. You may feel like you are not growing, even though you want to. Negative thoughts also make you feel mentally tired. Thinking too much, worrying too much, and repeating the same thoughts again and again uses a lot of mental energy. Just like your body gets tired after physical work, your mind gets tired after too much thinking. You may notice that after a long day of overthinking, you feel exhausted, even if you did not do much physical work. You may feel low, slow, or without motivation. This is because your mind has been very active in an unhealthy way. The important thing to understand here is that negative thoughts do not only stay in your mind. They affect your emotions, your decisions, your actions, and your energy. They quietly shape your life. But this is also the good news. If negative thoughts can affect your life in a negative way, then learning to manage them can improve your life in a positive way. That is why this topic is not just about thinking. It is about how you live your life every day. And once you become aware of these effects, you will feel more motivated to change your thinking step by step. Because you deserve a calm mind, strong confidence, and a life where you can take action without fear controlling you. Important truth: you are not your thoughts. Now let's talk about one of the most powerful ideas in this whole episode. If you truly understand this, it can change the way you see your mind forever. The idea is simple. You are not your thoughts. Many people believe everything they think. When a thought comes into the mind, they feel like it is true, and it is part of who they are. For example, if the mind says, "I am not good enough," they feel, "Yes, this is me." If the mind says, "I will fail," they believe it and feel afraid. But this is not the truth. Thoughts are not you. Thoughts are just things that happen in your mind. They come and they go. You do not create every thought on purpose. Many thoughts appear automatically, without your control. If you watch carefully, you will notice that your mind is always active, always producing ideas, images, and sentences. Think about this for a moment. If you were your thoughts, then every thought would be true, and every thought would stay forever. But this is not what happens. Some thoughts come and disappear quickly. Some thoughts change. Some thoughts repeat. This shows that thoughts are not your identity. They are just mental events. A simple way to understand this is to imagine the sky and clouds. Your mind is like the sky, and your thoughts are like clouds. Sometimes the clouds are light and white. Sometimes they are dark and heavy. But no matter what kind of clouds are there, the sky is still there behind them. The sky does not become the clouds. In the same way, you do not become your thoughts. They pass through you, but they are not you. Another example is like traffic on a road. Imagine you are standing on the side of a busy road. Cars are passing by. Some are fast, some are slow, some are noisy. You can see them, but you are not inside every car. You are just watching. Your thoughts are like those cars. They keep coming and going. You don't have to follow every thought. You can just observe them. This idea is very powerful because it gives you freedom. When you understand that you are not your thoughts, you stop reacting to every negative idea. Instead of saying, "This is true," you can say, "This is just a thought." This small change creates space between you and your mind. And in that space, you have a choice. You can choose to believe the thought, or you can choose to let it go. You can choose to follow it, or you can choose to ignore it. Before, it felt like your thoughts were controlling you. But now, you start to see that you can observe them calmly. For example, if a thought comes, "I will fail," instead of feeling scared immediately, you can pause and say, "This is just a thought. It is not a fact." This simple awareness reduces the power of that thought. It becomes weaker. At the beginning, this may feel a little difficult. You may still react to your thoughts quickly, but with practice, you will become better at observing them. You will start to notice your thoughts without getting lost in them. This is the beginning of inner peace. Because when you are not controlled by every thought, your mind becomes more calm. You don't feel pulled in different directions all the time. So always remember this important truth. Thoughts come and go, but you stay. You are the observer, not the thoughts. And once you understand this deeply, you take a big step toward controlling your mind and living a more peaceful life. Step by step, how to stop negative thoughts. Now we come to the most important part of this episode. You may be thinking, okay, I understand negative thoughts, but what can I actually do? This is where real change begins. I will guide you step by step in a very simple way, so you can start using this in your daily life. The first step is to notice the thought. This may sound very simple, but it is very powerful. Most of the time, we don't even realize that we are thinking negatively. The thoughts come, and we immediately believe them. So the first thing you need to do is just become aware. When a negative thought appears, pause for a moment and say in your mind, I am having a negative thought. For example, if your mind says, I will fail, don't just believe it. Stop and notice it. Say, this is a negative thought. This small step creates awareness, and awareness is the beginning of control. The second step is very important. Do not fight the thought. Many people try to push negative thoughts away. They say, I don't want this thought, or stop thinking like this. But when you fight your thoughts, they often become stronger. It is like trying to push water down. It comes back again. Instead of fighting, allow the thought to be there without reacting too much. For example, if the thought says, I am not good enough, don't argue with it immediately. Just let it be there and say, okay, this thought is here. When you stop fighting, the thought slowly loses its power. The third step is to question the thought. This means you don't accept the thought as truth. You ask simple questions. For example, if the thought says, I will fail, ask yourself, is this 100% true? Or, do I have proof? Many times you will realize that the thought is not fully true. Maybe you have succeeded before. Maybe you are improving. Maybe the situation is not as bad as your mind is saying. This step helps you see your thoughts more clearly and logically, instead of emotionally. The fourth step is to replace the thought with a better and more balanced one. This does not mean you need to be unrealistically positive. You don't have to say, I am perfect. Instead, choose a more helpful and realistic thought. For example, instead of, I will fail, you can say, I may make mistakes, but I can learn and improve. Or instead of, I am not good enough, you can say, I am still learning, and I am getting better step by step. This kind of thinking is more supportive and gives you confidence. The fifth and final step is to focus on action. This is very important because thinking alone is not enough. You need to do something. Even a small action can change your state of mind. For example, if you are afraid to speak English, take a small step and say one sentence. If you are worried about making mistakes, try anyway. Action breaks the cycle of overthinking. It shows your mind that you are not controlled by fear. Let's take one simple example and connect all the steps together. Imagine you want to speak in English, and a thought comes, I will make mistakes. First, you notice it and say, this is a negative thought. Second, you don't fight it. You let it be there. Third, you question it. Is it true that I will fail completely? Or can I still communicate? Fourth, You replace it with a better thought. It's okay to make mistakes. I am learning. And finally, you take action. You speak, even if it is just a few words. This is how you slowly train your mind. At the beginning, it may feel a little difficult. You may forget these steps. That is completely okay. Remember, this is a skill, and like any skill, it improves with practice. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Over time, you will notice something beautiful. Your negative thoughts will still come, but they will not control you in the same way. You will feel more calm, more confident, and more in control. So don't try to be perfect. Just start small. Notice your thoughts, be gentle with yourself, and take one step at a time. Daily habits to reduce negative thinking. Now let's talk about something that can help you not only in the moment, but also in the long term. Because stopping one negative thought is good, but building a healthy mind every day is even more powerful. This is where daily habits come in. Small actions you do every day can slowly change the way you think. One of the most important habits is positive self-talk. This means the way you speak to yourself inside your mind. Many people are very kind to others but very hard on themselves. They say things like, "I am stupid," or "I can't do anything right." If you speak to yourself like this every day, your mind starts to believe it. So try to change your inner voice. Speak to yourself like you would speak to a good friend. For example, instead of saying, "I am bad at English," you can say, "I am learning English, and I am improving." This is simple, but very powerful. Your words create your mindset. Another helpful habit is writing your thoughts, also called journaling. Sometimes our thoughts feel very strong because they are only in our mind. When you write them down on paper, you can see them more clearly. You can understand them better. For example, if you feel worried, take a notebook and write what you are thinking. You may write, "I feel nervous because I think I will fail." Then read it again and ask yourself, "Is this really true?" Writing helps you slow down your thinking and see things more calmly. It is also very important to limit negative content. What you watch, listen to, and read has a big effect on your mind. If you are always watching negative news, negative videos, or content that makes you feel bad, your mind will fill with more negative thoughts. So try to choose content that is positive, helpful, and motivating. For example, listen to podcasts that teach you something, watch videos that inspire you, and follow people who share good energy. This does not mean you ignore reality, but you protect your mind from too much negativity. Talking to good people is another powerful habit. Humans are social. We need connection. When you talk to positive and supportive people, you feel better. They can help you see things in a different way. For example, if you feel low and you talk to a good friend, they may say, "You are doing better than you think," or "Don't worry, you can do it." These simple words can change your mood and your thinking. So try to spend more time with people who support you, understand you, and encourage you to grow. Finally, practicing gratitude is a very simple but beautiful habit. Gratitude means focusing on what you have, not only on what you don't have. Our mind often focuses on problems and missing things. But when you practice gratitude, you train your mind to see the good parts of your life. Every day, you can take a few moments and think about 3 things you are thankful for. It can be something small, like a good meal, a kind person, or a peaceful moment. When you do this regularly, your mind slowly becomes more positive and balanced. All these habits are simple, but they are very powerful when you do them every day. You don't need to do everything perfectly. Just start with 1 or 2 habits and practice them regularly. Over time, you will notice that your thinking becomes more calm, more positive, and more clear. Remember, your mind is like a garden. If you take care of it every day, it will grow in a beautiful way. But if you ignore it, negative thoughts can grow easily. So take small steps, be patient, and keep going. Your future self will thank you for it. Simple practice exercise. Interactive part. Now let's do something a little different. Instead of only listening, I want you to take a small action with me. This part is very important because real learning happens when you practice, not only when you understand. If you can, try to pause this podcast for a moment. Find a quiet place. Take a slow, deep breath and relax your body. Don't rush. Give yourself this small time. This is your moment. Now, I want you to think about one negative thought that you often have. It can be something simple. Maybe it is, I am not good at English, or I feel nervous when I speak, or I will make mistakes. Just choose one thought that feels real to you. Take a few seconds and bring that thought into your mind. Notice how it sounds. Notice how it makes you feel. Maybe it makes you feel a little uncomfortable or worried. That is okay. Just observe it calmly. Now, instead of believing this thought immediately, I want you to look at it in a different way. Ask yourself a simple question. Is this thought 100% true? Don't answer quickly. Think about it. Is it always true? Or is it just something your mind is saying? Now let's move to the next step. Try to change this negative thought into a better and more helpful one. Remember, you don't need to make it perfect or extremely positive. Just make it more balanced and supportive. For example, if your thought is, I am not good at English, you can change it to, I am still learning English, and I am improving step by step. If your thought is, I will make mistakes, you can say, it is okay to make mistakes. This is how I learn. If your thought is, I feel nervous, you can say, it is normal to feel nervous, but I can still try. Take your time and create your own new sentence. Say it slowly in your mind, or even say it softly out loud. Feel the difference. Notice how this new thought makes you feel compared to the old one. Now, take one more deep breath. And remember this moment. This simple exercise may look small, but it is very powerful. Every time you do this, you are training your mind. You are showing your brain that you don't have to believe every negative thought. You have a choice. You can do this exercise any time during your day. When you feel stressed, when you feel doubt, or when a negative thought appears, just pause, notice it, and gently change it. With practice, this will become easier and more natural. And slowly, you will see that your thoughts become more supportive instead of negative. So keep practicing this small exercise. Step by step, you are building a stronger and calmer mind. Motivation. You can train your mind. Now I want to share something very important with you, something that can give you hope and motivation. No matter how many negative thoughts you have right now, you can change the way your mind works. Yes, it is possible. And it starts with one simple idea. Your mind is like a muscle. Think about your body for a moment. If you want to become physically strong, what do? You exercise. You train your muscles again and again. At the beginning, it feels difficult. Your body feels weak. You may not see results quickly, but if you continue, slowly your body becomes stronger. Your mind works in the same way. If you practice positive thinking, awareness, and calm observation every day, your mind becomes stronger. If you keep noticing your thoughts, questioning them, and replacing them with better ones, you are training your mind step by step. Many people believe that they cannot change their thinking. They feel like, this is just the way I am. But this is not true. Your thinking is not fixed. It is flexible. It can grow. It can improve. Just like a muscle, it becomes stronger with practice. It is also very important to understand that change takes time. You will not wake up tomorrow and suddenly have no negative thoughts. That is not how it works. Negative thoughts may still come, but your reaction to them will slowly change. And that is real progress. At the beginning, you may only notice your thoughts after they affect you. Then, with practice, you will start noticing them earlier. Later, you will catch them quickly and respond in a better way. This is growth. It may feel slow, but it is real and meaningful. Sometimes you may feel like you are not improving. You may have a bad day or many negative thoughts. That is okay. Progress is not perfect. Some days will be easy, and some days will be difficult. What matters is that you keep going. You don't stop practicing. Think about learning English. You did not become better in one day. You practiced listening, speaking, reading, and slowly you improved. In the same way, you are now learning how to manage your thoughts. It is a skill, and every small effort counts. Also, be kind to yourself during this journey. Don't expect perfection. Don't say, "Why am I still thinking like this?" Instead, say, "I am learning. I am improving." This kind of attitude makes the process easier and more peaceful. Always remember, your mind is powerful, but you are the one who can train it. You are not stuck. You are not controlled forever by your thoughts. With patience, practice, and awareness, you can build a calm, strong, and positive mind. So keep going, even if the steps are small. Because small steps, repeated every day, create big change over time. As we come to the end of this episode, I want to leave you with a simple but powerful message. Peace starts in your mind. Not outside, not in other people, not in perfect situations, but inside you. Many times, we wait for life to become easy so that we can feel calm. We think, when everything is okay, then I will feel peaceful. But the truth is different. Life will always have challenges. There will always be uncertainty, mistakes, and difficult moments. But even in all of this, you can learn to create peace inside your mind. And the first thing you need to remember is this: you deserve peace. No matter your past, no matter your mistakes, no matter your current level in English or in life, you deserve to feel calm, confident, and balanced. You don't need to be perfect to feel peaceful. You have also learned something very important today. You may not be able to control every thought that comes into your mind, but you can control how you react to those thoughts. This is your power. A negative thought may come, but you can choose to observe it, question it, and let it go. You don't have to follow it every time. This is how real change begins. Not by stopping every negative thought, but by changing your relationship with your thoughts. And remember, small steps matter. You don't need to change everything in one day. Just one small step is enough. One moment of awareness, one better thought, one small action. That is progress. And when you repeat these small steps every day, they slowly create a big change in your life. So from today, try to be more aware of your thoughts. Be kind to yourself. Practice what you have learned. And trust the process. Your mind can become a peaceful place, step by step. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. It truly means a lot that you are here, learning and growing. And at the same time, you are also improving your English, which is a beautiful journey. Keep listening, keep practicing, and don't be afraid to speak. Use what you learn in your daily life. Try to think in English, speak in English, and express your ideas more and more. Little by little, you will become more confident. And most importantly, keep practicing positive thinking. Train your mind just like you train your English. Both will grow together. I hope this episode helped you feel a little more calm, a little more clear, and a little more in control of your thoughts. Take care of yourself, keep moving forward, and I will see you in the next episode.